Hi, my name is Iggy Ignatius, and I'm originally from India. Came to the US almost 45 years ago, uh, and I am just retiring now after having built retirement communities in Florida, which I'll talk to you about a little later. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a very new concept in travel. Although people have been traveling a lot, we see a lot of YouTube videos on people traveling and writing about it. But what I'm going to present to you is specifically those who want to do slow travel around the world, spend at least a week in each city, and see the world like that. So that's the concept. I call that concept the wheel travel, wheel slow travel. So first, let me tell you how I came up with this idea. I'm always very interested in trying to solve problems collectively that people have not uh, figured it out, or everybody does what's needed for them. So in 2004, the retirement community, typically there could be 100, 200 houses, and everybody who's a senior of different age group, starting from 55 plus to 90 plus, almost everybody has to cook their own food. They have to call somebody to clean their house, call somebody to do the maintenance. So I came up with this idea about something like a community, collective living, where I built communities of about 100, 120 homes each, where we would bring all the cooking together into the one common commercial kitchen. So if everybody was spending 2 hours of cooking in a day, 100 households would be spending 200 hours uh, a day for cooking. So in this new community that I built, I brought the cooking under this one commercial kitchen, and we could cook the entire food for all the 100 people for both the meals, lunch and dinner, within 5 hours. So that's the kind of savings I wanted to bring in that community. Now that I'm actually retired, I want to take this idea a little further, and we wanted to start traveling ourselves. So we started doing research, watching a lot of YouTube videos, especially my friend Dan of Vagabond Awake. Some of you might have seen his video just now. He had an interview with me in which I've explained this concept. And in this, when we were trying to do this travel, and I had to decide, okay, where all am I going to do? Which are the countries? Which are the cities? How we go there? Then we have to make our reservations. Then we have to figure out where we want to stay, in a hotel or in Airbnb, and make the bookings individually for each city. And then we have to figure out, go through websites like, TripAdvisor and other places and YouTube's, figure out what would be the best places for us to eat given our some restrictions on our food. So this idea is, I said, why can't we apply something like what we did in the community, where we organize everything for people and people just come and enjoy their trip. So it's something similar to the 2 week package tours that we all go to Europe and China and Africa, where every day or every 2 days we are in a city. We have to get up 6 o'clock in the morning and come back late in the night. And it was very, very hectic. Yes, most of us have seen the world like that. But now, being retired and maybe some digital nomads, would like to go spend maybe a week in a city and you know enjoy the city, the culture, the people, the local cuisine, and then after a week move to the next town. And the whole concept, we wanted to do it at a very low cost. So we decided, why don't we rent two-bedroom condos or homes in every city? Of course, when we rent the homes, we would tell them we are renting this for our club, and all the club members would be coming there. So they wouldn't have, it's not an Airbnb where somebody books for 2 nights and come, you don't know who they are and all those things. In this club, there's going to be a selective few people only. For example, if we did 52 weeks in 52 cities, 1 week at a time for a year of travel, or maybe 12 cities for a 3 month travel, it would be only those 12 people or only those 52 people. So we would know who they are, and they are not going to be like some of the comments that came on some videos was, oh, the people like Airbnb, they'll come and trash the homes and things like that. No, these people are committed to long term travel. They are people like you and me, and we don't expect anything to happen other than accidents can always happen. And we will have uh, realtors who help us rent these homes and who also manage these homes. So if these people have any problems while staying there, they can call the realtor. In addition, we came up with the idea of trying to recruit ambassadors in each city who will be the contact point, and that person would probably be an expat who's already living in that city. And of course, there are some perks that can be packaged for the ambassadors for helping our people out. So, this in a crux is the concept of wheel travel. And let us go into the video, and I'll explain to you step by step what we do and how we will do it. The next question I want to answer is some of the people have asked, how will this help me? Why can't I go and book Airbnb on myself and go where I want to go and go there as long as I want? Sure, you can do that, but that's exactly what we are trying to solve. Where, instead of you trying to figure out where you want to go, how long you want to stay, and individually go to the 52 cities and make your Airbnb bookings, we are trying to package them all together, just like the 2 week package tours. They decide which cities you're going, which hotels you're going to stay, where you're going to eat, what places you're going to stay. So normally, if you did it yourself, you have to figure out, as I told you, you have to figure out where you want to go, and then look, of course, how to travel between the cities. You have to do all those research yourself. In the wheel concept, once you become a club member, everything is arranged for you. The one drawback, of course, is if you like a city so much and you want to spend a month, you will have to leave because the person behind you who's in the previous city that you had visited is ready to come into this city, so you have to vacate the condo. We have only one condo we rent for every 52 people. If there are more people, then so we'll have more condos. So maybe we can make some adjustments. But in general, if we are going to do only one wheel in the first year, you have to move on after a week. And yes, that is a sacrifice that you have to do, but in order to get a lot of advantages also. There are a lot of videos which I suggest you watch, especially for cities that we are going to be going. And you can see they give you a lot of tips on what to do in that city, where to eat, and things like that. But in the wheel concept, what happens is you are in touch with the person ahead of you who has already moved on from the city you are staying to the next city where you will be going next week, and they would share their experiences directly to you. And also we will suggest that they send us videos so that we can post it on the YouTube, on our channel, on the website, so you can watch them and you would get first hand information from somebody who's there just now for the next city. So, and then you will similarly pass on the information to the person behind you. And as we keep moving, the whole experience would be enriched because they will tell you exactly what to do, how to, what's the best way to see the city, where are the best places to eat, to buy your groceries if you want to cook, the farmers market, and the sightseeing, of course, and entertainments that you could enjoy. There is a lot of hidden advantages in doing this real travel. So let's hope we get enough people to put this in action. And yes, it's a lot of work for me because I have to go first one round to every city in our wheel, and I have to contact the ambassadors that we are going to see if we can have some ambassadors, realtors who can find us good homes. And I have to make sure I sign a contract for 1 year, explicitly saying this is for a club and only our club members will be coming there, because we can even give them the list of people who could be staying there. Most of the rental contracts, they want that. And once they understand that this is going to be for this club and there's going to be so many people, most of the people, if they don't like that idea, they wouldn't give us their home. But we are going to be very open upfront and tell them, hey, this is what we are doing. And there are plenty of homes for rental. Yeah, maybe they will charge us $100 extra per month, but that is something we can afford because it's all going to be on a cost sharing basis, which will keep our costs very low. So this concept is called the Wheel of World Slow Travel, and I have abbreviated it to WOW, WOW, that is Wheel of World and then Slow Travel, WOW Slow Travel. And I'm showing you a depiction of a wheel that is rotating to give the concept of we will all be rotating 1 week at a time. And I've kind of tried to show the order of the countries that we are likely to go around, mostly in South America and in Southeast Asia, because these are the low-cost countries that people look forward for a cheap retirement or being a digital nomad. So these countries are shown here on this picture, uh, almost in the order, like, starting from, if you're from the US, we start from Mexico and we go down to the other countries. So you can see just the list. This is just for information. Based on the feedback we get, we may or may not go to all the countries. And then once people say they are interested in a country, then we will zero in on the cities in that country where most of the expats go, so that we have something to start with, some contacts. So the first is we have to decide of this list which countries we are going to go, and then which list. So that will come next. This is to give an idea about all these countries are potential visits for us. So this is how the whole thing will be put into action. We will be going to every city, find that we finalize in our plan after people have given their interests and signed up. We will be renting 2-bedroom condos in every city, because one of the feedbacks we have received so far is people might want to travel as two couples together, two friends, or maybe singles, 2 to 4 people. And instead of having just a 1-bedroom or a studio, if we had a 2-bedroom, then it would be more advantageous. And even for a single couple, when they are traveling, they are going, sometimes they would like to invite their family or friends to come and stay with them in one particular city when their family or friends are free, they have vacation. So definitely going with a 2-bedroom would definitely be a good thing, week wheel or a 24-week wheel. So the people who go to one city will then move on the following week to the next city in our wheel. And as we travel along, we would be noting down, giving feedback on how to best spend the 1 week, how they spent it. Preferably, they will post photos and things, and it will be a very, very rich experience for everybody who's coming on this wheel. Some of the people might prefer to cook themselves, especially those with some restrictions on their food. So, because of the feedback from people, which they can even ask the people ahead of them, because they could be in touch on the phone all the time, in terms of what kind of places they can go and buy the stuff they're looking for, where are the good farmers markets. So that's one advantage on the food part. And then, of course, restaurants, they could suggest, hey, we went there, it was great. A lot of times on trips, we see that on the last day of the trip, if you're staying a week, we would go to a place and that would be very good in terms of price and quality. And we wish we had known that on day one. So those kind of advantages. The other hidden advantages would be like even possibly sharing SIM cards in that city or country, so that those kind of stuff, that commonly used stuff. Of course, we will be having Wi-Fi in every condo. We'll be subscribing to it for a thing whole year. So those are the advantages. One other idea, so some of the people who already agreed to be ambassadors have said there's a large expat group, and every Sunday they have a meeting of the expats in that town to discuss issues and ideas. So maybe uh, our people, whoever is present in that city that week, could be invited specially to meet with the other expats, so that if that's a city you're trying to see, evaluate if you want to retire to, you can get a lot of valuable feedback. We would also try to rent these homes or condos in the middle of the city, where most of the attractions are within walking distance. And if you don't want to rent a car or anything, you would have a lot of public transportation facilities available, like buses and trains and trams, depending on the city you go to. So that is our thinking as of now, that most of the people would not like to drive or rent a car. And then we would also uh, build our database in terms of how to go to the next city in the wheel, because people before you would have gone. Sometimes maybe you can rent something like a Uber, Grab, or a one-way car ride at a very reasonable price, so it may be worthwhile for us to consider that. Of course, there are public transportations, buses, almost connecting every city to every city, and we will know the information about what time the buses leave, how long it takes, what are the facilities on the thing. But we will try to keep the distances in such a way that we could travel within the day, instead of having to have a overnight travel or uh, reaching a place late in the night. So most of the places would be, like, I would think, less than 8 hours journey from one city to the other. Just to give you an idea about what we are working on in terms of possible costs, first of all, there will be a membership fee of about, I think right now it's going to be about $1,000 per year per couple. And that would bring you into the database with all your information and things. And next, the rent. We expect the rent to be a maximum of $1,000 a month. Hopefully, maybe a little lesser, because we are talking about all the utilities and the Wi-Fi and things like that. So a rough estimate we made was on a per week basis. The rent would be shared by the four travelers, so approximately $250 a week in one city. The next one would be housekeeping, because housekeeping has to be done to keep the house clean for the next person coming behind you. And that is estimated at around $50. So the next is food and entertainment. In a week in one city, most of the places are, you could, if you cooked yourself, you could do it for about $100, including eating out at the street side stalls and stuff. So of course the food is something that is variable, and that is something you would spend on your own. We just estimated it at a minimum of $100 a week for a couple. And then the travel between the cities, uh, we have estimated at about $100. And this, when you combine the 52 weeks of travel, hopefully will take care of the air travel going to the first point and coming back home.